Welcome back to Regs Automotive, where everything we do is hard. Today we're doing a conversion, engine conversion from a minivan, Dodge Chrysler minivan, over to 2013 Jeep Wrangler. We're trying to convert the engine. They're both 3.6s, but there's some difference in the similarity of these engines. And we're trying to convert the engine over from 2013 Chrysler Town and Country over to a 2013 Jeep Wrangler. Yes, there is some similarities. I was told that we have to swap out a couple of things here to make things work, and I just want to take you guys on the journey with me. But all right, let's get back on it here. We got to take this engine, the engine that came out of the Wrangler. We got to take it off of the engine stand, and we got to get the new engine from the Chrysler up on the engine stand and ready for us to tear it down to do the conversion. So we're going to start off with making sure that we secure this right here onto that. And we're going to use the engine hoist. Let's get our engine hoist up on here. Crank it up. Crank the engine hoist up. It takes a little while to get this up. I wish there was an automatic version. Crank it up. Get it secure on there. Wrap it around there nice and tight. Let's get it up. All right, so that is up. Let's pull out this makeshift bolt. Grab this right out of it here. All right, so that is off. We want to get the setup off of the back of it. Right there. And 13. Save the bolts in the correct position. Same position, the same engine. Hook on over here. All right, let it down like that. Trying to keep everything the same. Reach on over here. All right, that is now off. That is now off. All right, so just going to get this out of the way, and then we'll set up the other one to be able to be installed on there. Lower this down out of the way. This block, I think we had a problem with it. A manufacturer's issue. In a previous video, I'd actually showed you guys what was going on with these Pentastar blocks. All right, so we over here, what we want to do is remove the flywheel before we do anything. And I think that is 8 17mm bolts. Just take that apart. Take it apart. Ooh, taking out flywheel bolts always smells awful when it comes out of the back of the flywheel. Crankshaft, actually. Smells like burnt oil and coolant. All right, so that is the side. Just gonna set it down here for temporarily. Then we'll get our makeshift bolts back and up and ready to go here. And try to set it up the same way it came out. I know that you can't see right now, but it's the same setup because it was the same block. It is the same setup. And we're going back in there with the same bolts. Trying to set things up the same way. So right here, looks like we have a little bit of restriction right there. We'll just drive that down. 14. I'm sure it would make things a little easier for us. Put the 13 on here real quick. All right, that's in there. Nice and tight. Well, not too tight because you don't want to break it off. Just got to get the back end of it. And we're all set and ready to lift it up. Where did I put my screw? Get that over there. So we should be good. Get this loosed off here and tie it up to the new engine. Just tie it on to the new engine. All right, so it's got one mount in the front here. Just use the seat belt. Seat belt, you got to have a lot of respect for this. It's very, very strong nylon right here. Bring it through. All right, it looks like we all up and mounted and secure on the engine stand. We're just gonna break back down the jack. We'll break the jack down and get the engine on the inside, right close next to the wrangler, so we can work on it for tomorrow morning when we do come in. It's all set. We'll break the jack back down and let things get away. All right. Even though we gotta set the jack back up for tomorrow morning. I mean, for when we get ready to put this engine in. Come right here. Just drag this engine on the inside here. Drag it on the inside. I'm just going to grab the camera here real quick. So just might see a little bit of shaking here. And so we can get out the side. All right, there it goes. All righty, so here we are. The engine is up on the stand. And we are ready right now to start breaking this engine apart in order for us to convert this 2013 Chrysler Town & Country over to this Jeep Wrangler. That's the way it looks. As you can see right there. And with just some modifications, we're going to take the timing cover out, and we're going to wind up changing the oil pan down the bottom here in order for us to be able to do that. The back of the block, we've already taken off the flywheel, so we have free access to removing all the bolts on the oil pan to do whatever we want to do. Welcome back to Regs Automotive, where everything we do is hard. Today we're reinstalling the engine that was converted, and we're going to be putting it back in this Jeep today. So we already have the engine up on the hoist in the background right there, and as you can see, the engine bay is empty. So we're just going to lift it up and just drop it right back in and set it down on the engine mounts. All right, let's get started. Just want to try and get it to go all the way up. Let's push forward just a little bit here. Jack it up. It's already glued up, and just gotta make sure we clear the radiator housing right there. Looks like we're clear. Gonna go back there. We are clear. We're gonna be spinning it around, and then we're gonna be dropping it in. Ooh, nice and easy on the release. Oops. So I want to make sure that we don't crush any radiator or anything, or any kind of plastic parts. Ship that over there. I got a plastic hose over here. All right. Just spin that around. Gotcha right there. So gotta be very strategic in how we release this down in. All right. Easy does it. Just a little bit at a time and stop it. Just a little bit at a time. All right, so I got to kick this over a little bit more. Like that. Just a little bit at a time and stop it. No rush. Especially when you're one guy, so you want to make sure that you're dropping it down at a proper pace. Just a little bit at a time. You're going to go check again. Especially on the left side, there's a lot of plastic lines here that we want to make sure that we avoid breaking. You can see right there. Plastic lines. Looks like we got to go down just a little bit more here. Get the transmission dipstick out of the way. These are easy to break. All right, that looks good. Just gonna go down a little bit more. We can get ourselves in a better position. So let's double check this line over here for the air conditioning. Looks like it's all set. All right. Okay. Looks like we are pretty much there. Get that out of the way. The AC compressor out of the way too also. Alrighty then. Jack it up a little bit and pull it forward. A little bit back up. Just to compensate for the oil pan sitting over there. We need a light. Let's get a little light over here so we can shine. I know I'm blocking your view, but that has to happen right now in order for us to be able to get it into the right way. Okay. We had a compressor in there. Let's get the compressor out of the way. Set that aside right now. And we're pretty much on the engine mount. And we just have to just ease it back down in there. Make sure that the washers and everything line up. Looks like we're good on that side. And why is this? Okay. There we go. Got to hang up on the transmission dipstick right there. We don't want that. So let's go around this fuel line here real quick. All right, looks like we're good. Just gonna drop it, ease it down just a bit. Just a bit. And then we're gonna push it backwards. Yep. Looks about right. Good, good, good. That looks about right. Make sure that we're nice and clear. Out of the way. Okay. They look nice and clear there. Just push it backwards. Yep. We're gonna have to walk this engine right over the engine mount section. There you go. All right, this is where a pry bar would probably come in handy here to get that over there. That should come in handy. Okay. Yeah, pretty much all set. Looks like the jack. Maybe jack the tranny up. It's gonna have to put a jack under the transmission in order to release the stuff that is captured over there. Oops. Oop. Ah! Well, this jack is heavy. Heavy old jack. Big old heavy jack. All right, so that is in there. Jack up the tranny a little bit. Just a little bit. There we go. Right there. If I wish I had another cameraman, I could be showing you guys exactly how we're jacking up this transmission. But once we get that up, looks like it's up, you can go ahead and release some of the the clips and pins that we have inside of that. Holding up the transmission right now. Yep. Here we go. Looks like we're going to be releasing that. A whole lot of stuff. I usually sing sometime when I'm doing work. All right, cool. All right, good. Yep, switch release. Can't get that out of the way. There we are. Release the other side. Let's see. Gonna let it drop down. This was what was used to support the transmission while the engine was out of the vehicle. Instead of having it hanging, we just use that. All right. All right, that looks like it's pretty much all set. Pain in the ass, pain in the ass. Okay. Now it looks like we could push this engine and allow it to go back. But in order for us to do that, we're going to need a big pry bar. We're going to be needing a big pry bar. Something like this right here. To put yourself on the suspension and ease the engine back. Ease it back. Yes, guys, doing engine work is not easy. It's a pretty intense process. All right, kick this side up a little bit more. First pump right there. Okay. Okay. Pretty intensive. All right, let's replace this water pump and the water outlet sensor on this vehicle so we can get it out of here. We start off with the 10s. We can finish up on the Jeep. All right, so got about quite a few 10mm bolts here. All trying to get at. 2 down in the bottom and 1 on the side right there. Get me a magnet. I can be able to grab that one. I think there's 1 more down at the very bottom there. Let's go search for it. Let's search for it right there. Very, very, very bottom. Bottom of the water pump. Yes, there is one here. We can get our tool in there. Certify that we're on it here. Let's certify that we're gonna be on it. All right, I think we just got it. That's hidden. All right, looks like we got everyone. Still 1 more under the water pump. Yes, there is. Almost 2 under the water pump right there. Pretty long one. We'll get it all the way. Looks like we get it out now. Stop on the water pump here. It's going to be popping off. Come on, guy. We got 1 more screw in here. 1 more screw. Where is that 1 more screw? Do we have 1 more screw in there? Okay, we already got that 1 screw. We've already gotten that 1 screw. Why isn't it popping off? Oh, there it is. Just saw that 1. Let's put a little one right here. There you go. Here we go. Pop right off. Here comes the water pump. So it's pretty old, so I just got to change that out. Old water pump here. So we get that all cleaned up. Gonna get that all cleaned up. Just lightly with the die grinder so you can scuff it off a little bit. So. cleaned up. All right, that is nice and cleaned up. Alrighty, nice and cleaned up. We'll just get a little rag, pass it right by there to get any debris that we didn't get to touch. Pass it right on here. Clean it out. We'll grab our water pump and gasket. And this nice, beautiful, sexy water pump here that we're going to be putting in. Beautiful, sexy water pump. Match up this gasket here real quick. And let's reinstall this baby. Get two right there. Nice and easy so we can line it up there. Just so we can line it up. Right there. All right, that's on there. I usually like to get all my bolts in before I started screwing any one of them together. Let's get all the bolts in there. Goddamn, one of them got about 20 bolts. Not a long one. Put all the longest ones in first. Long one down at the bottom here. This is going to be a short one. Catch that right there. I want to put them in by hand first. One there. Get the over here. Another one in. Right. Another long one there. And the very bottom, right here. And there's another long one. Guess I can't see. I just gotta feel my way here. Actually, a short. That would be a short one. Get that to sit in there real quick. Sometimes you gotta feel your way with these cars, you know. Feel where to put the bolts. Alrighty, I've got a bolt in my hand. It's gonna be going where? There's a bolt in my hand. Looks like we have pretty much all of them in there. Got a long bolt and a short bolt. Definitely not for that. All right, cool. So All right, let's run these on. The new gasket. Good old Milwaukee. Good old Milwaukee. Get that one last one on the bottom here. Good old Milwaukee. One more down at the bottom here. Can you see that one? That's a blind one. All right. Looks like we're all set with that one. I'm just gonna put back on the pulley and the belt and the new frame, and then we're good to go. Yes, so we just finished putting back the water pump in and the water outlet gasket and all of the hoses that are connected in the cooling system. The vehicle is complete, and this is the moment of truth that we were waiting for. I'm going to try to attempt to get the vehicle started right now to see how it runs. And Travis, you want to jump in there and get it started for us? That's Travis, the cameraman right there, the mechanic in training. Just going to... All right, so this is the completed 3.6 liter conversion from the Town and Country. The vehicle is all set. The vehicle is now running, as you could see. I'm gonna bring the light over here so you can take a look at it. And she seems to be running nice and smooth. And this is usually like a telltale test right here. We will put either a coffee cup or some kind of can on top of it. And you can tell whether it's running good. Look at that, guys. That light is on here and is refusing to fall because the vehicle is running very, very, very smooth. Just a couple more things that I have to get done from the old system. We have to clear the check engine light out and make sure that the vehicle is being test driven and make sure that it's good. So currently at the moment, we're adding some antifreeze to it. A little bit of a belt squeak because we tried to bleed it out, and we had a little bit of antifreeze that was left on the belt. But that as soon is going to dry out as soon as the vehicle starts warming up. So that is the 3.6 conversion. All set. Does not look like you have to buy an original Wrangler engine to get it going. High price motor. So this vehicle is back on the road. We've already put back in all of the accessories that kind of goes with it. And it's all set. I want to thank you guys for sticking with me and being on the journey of the 3.6 Chrysler Town and Country engine conversion. And I'll definitely catch you guys on the next one. Take care. The boy Rex is out.